TitleMatchNetwork.com.
It was, Turner was a threat because Turner had a bottomless checkbook, but Crockett was more of a nuisance.
Do you feel that Vince wanted to put them out of business at all, or no? For Crockett?
I don't think Vince doesn't really think like that. I know a lot of people think that Vince wanted to squash Jim Crockett, wanted to squash all the territories. The reality of the situation is Vince went to all those guys and said, "Hey, let's work together. I want to take your model. I want to buy you out, keep you involved, but I'm going to run it out of New York. I want it to be part of this bigger thing." And the ego of the people he was working with, I'm not saying Vince doesn't have a big ego. Vince's got a huge ego. But the egos of those in the wrestling business at the time were, "Fuck you, I'll squash you like a bug."
Like Vern Gagne, who refused $1 million.
Vern, Bill Watts, The Sheik. Mike LaBelle's the only one that took him up on his offer. And Mike had nothing to sell. In reality. But when you look at it, what did they have? What did they have that Vince couldn't just take? But he went in and he offered them something for it. What did they have? They had air. That's all they had. There was no binding contracts or no law that said, "I am the only person that can promote in Minneapolis, Minnesota, because I was here first and I'm Vern Gagne." Bullshit. It's America. It's a free country. If I want to go in and I want to promote a show in the same building or building next door to you, I want to put my TV on the station, maybe stronger than yours, opposite you, I'm going to do it. Let the people choose. You got a better product? Guess what? I lose. I have a better product? Guess what? I win. So it wasn't about putting anybody out of business. It was actually about, how can we strengthen your business, make my business stronger, make all of us stronger, come together, and make this whole thing larger than anyone ever imagined. And he was willing to gamble, do it on his own, but in the beginning, out of respect for his father and out of respect of the relationships that his dad had, it was like, you know what, I'm going to go to these guys first. I'm going to make the offer for them to work with me. I think deep down, he probably knew no one would do it. But I think he felt better by being able to go in and say, "Hey, I gave you the offer. I came to you. You can be with us or against us. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You're either part of it or you're not."
What was Vince's reaction to the territories going out of business at the time? Do you feel he was happy about it, or was he more focused on his own business?
I think Vince has always been more focused on his own business. He really is. It's not like there's not a, "Woohoo, this guy went out of business." It was, "Oh, okay. Is there anybody we want?" That was more the reaction than anything else. I don't think he took any joy in people losing their livelihood or anything like that. I think he just wanted to be the best.
He was often vilified for the death of the smaller regional promotions. Do you think it's fair to judge him for that at all, or no?
No, I think the people that killed the regional promotions were the regional promoters. Again, they had an opportunity to be a part of it. They had an opportunity to continue to do business as they had done business before Vince came in. What most of them chose to do that put them out of business was try to compete. And try to compete with Vince on the same level. So you got a millionaire coming in and spending X amount of dollars, and you don't have that money to spend, and you're trying to spend money that you don't have to compete against them, and it's just illogical. Instead of continuing to do what you do, take care of your own home base.
Right.
Bill Watts, he could have taken care of his home base. And Bill always talks about, well, it was the oil crash, it was the economy, it was this, it was that. No, Bill, it was you wanted to be not the world wrestling. You wanted the universe. Okay? So you wanted to go to Chicago. You wanted to go to LA. You wanted to go to New York. You wanted to go everywhere where you had no business going. You weren't ready to go there yet. Now, frankly, you know what? Mid-South could have gone there and done business better than the UWF did.
Why do you say that?
Because Mid-South had TBS at the time.
Okay.
Because Mid-South had, when Mid-South had TBS and Mid-South was on that TBS for a short period of time, they were red hot. They were good. It was a hell of a show. And I think people would have gone, hey, let's go check this out. Novelty one time. And then maybe you could build from there. Get your TV locally. But he went so far, so fast, and ignored home. Just let home go to shit. I was like, well, you know, we'll get back there. I've got to go to Washington State this month. Why? Because Vince did it. And you just gotta. They didn't take care of their home base. They didn't take care of home. They didn't take care of business.
What was the office's opinion of Ric Flair in the early '80s?
I think, you know.
Was it something that, you know, Vince needed to acquire Rick? Was it ever talked about? Like, we got to get this guy.
Vince didn't need to get anybody. There were guys he wanted. You know, Flair was somebody that was of interest that would have been great to be a part of the promotion, be a part of the package. But it wasn't like, oh my God, we have to have Ric Flair. Rick would have made a great $1 million man. But I don't know that Rick would have been able to not be Ric Flair. So you look at it and you think, oh God, what if Richard Flair portrayed the $1 million man? What would that? Where would that put us today? Because he did portray it every single day of his life anyway. You know, Ted DiBiase went in, and it's hard to imagine now anybody else other than Ted DiBiase being the $1 million man.
What did WWF do in the late '80s or mid '80s to keep up with what was going on in different territories at the time? Were they concerned with what was going on in the AWA, for instance, or were they only interested in talents that they wanted to hire?
Yeah, they were only interested in talent they wanted. They were more concerned with their business, growing their business, and not, you know, I don't think they cared what Verne was doing. I don't think they cared what everybody else was doing. It was more, okay, they got something good. See if we can get it.
Can you describe the process of getting someone you thought was going to be worthwhile to be an addition to WWF? Like, what was the process compared to now where, you know, today there's tryouts, etc.?
Well, again, it was different. You had guys that could go from territory to territory, work every night. You got to see whether or not they were a seasoned talent, whether they could adapt, how their promo skills were, how their work was, what kind of guy they were, what kind of track record they had. So it was different, and it was simply a who knew who. Give somebody a call, find out if they're interested. Bring them in. Do we have an idea? Is there something that we have that they might be able to do? And then you talk to them and figure it out.
Was there ever anyone you fought with WWF over to get them hired, and then, you know, you were told you made the right call?
Undertaker. Big time. Big time, because they didn't see anything in the Undertaker. That's wrong. They didn't see anything in Mean Mark.
Gotcha.
And they just thought he was a big red-headed guy, tall red-headed guy, basketball player. And they wanted Sid. Look at Sid. He's Sid. And then there was the tall red-headed kid. But I was always a big fan of Don Jardine, spoiler. And when Mark walked the ropes, Mark was so smooth and just so, he's great. And I didn't know him from Adam. I just really enjoyed his work and saw a lot of potential in him. And everybody thought I was crazy. It's just he's a big red-headed basketball player.
How often were you watching TVs of other companies?
I watched everything. Just because I'm a fan. I love the business, so I like to watch everything. You know, I watched the Dallas show, World Class show. I watched everything out of Atlanta and Crockett stuff. I'd watch Don Owens stuff out of Portland.
Right.
Whatever there was, I'd watch it.
Was there ever anyone you fought with WF? Was there anybody that you, I guess, got hired and then you regretted helping them?
Wow, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, not really.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.